Hey, on my Travel Wins podcast today, I'm lucky to have Dave Aichinger from New Era. How are you today, Dave?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Doing great, buddy.
Good.
Dave is the senior manager. Is that the correct title?
Yep.
Of team services for New Era baseball ball caps. Tell everybody kind of what your job entails, Dave.
Well, I've sort of become a little bit of the face of baseball. Along with now we've picked up a bunch of other sports, but my job is pretty simple. Anything you see on the field of play for baseball, football, basketball, and now major soccer goes past my desk. So any cap worn during a game or in a championship or during the draft or any other event, turn back the clock days, things like that.
All-Star games.
All-Star games. Yeah, that's the next project for me.
Yeah. Are you responsible for how often New Era is seen, or is that all part of the negotiations with the president?
No, that's
marketing.
That's all marketing, and we do have big events such as the NFL draft where we get a pretty good presence at the draft. But our biggest moments are usually championships. So it's a pretty big job to try and get out on the field as fast as possible and get as much exposure as possible on the field during the World Series and the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally the guy that's on the field handing out the championship caps, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not a bad gig.
I'm the guy huffing and puffing trying to chase usually the MVP and the head coach are the first two guys we go after, and then from then on it's just a matter of trying to get to the next person that's where you see a TV camera, you sort of run and try and make sure he's got product on his head. And then you get out of the locker room right before they're ready to start celebrating. So
yeah, you don't need the goggles, huh? The goggles.
Although that's one of our latest thing. A couple of years ago, we started doing the goggles for all of MLB. Again, being the official headwear supplier, we can consider that part of the headwear during the celebration. So we also distribute all the goggles and get all the exposure from that as well, because the goggle strap is actually covering up our logo on the hat.
Yeah.
This is another way for us to get some exposure.
Mm-hmm. I would say, yeah, it seems like, I mean, I kind of joke with you when I send you pictures, but the dugout shots where there's New Era everywhere.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Once you start figuring out that sports is really about money and you start and you meet people from different companies, you start seeing a lot more exposure for those companies. And we have a whole department that does nothing but negotiate those deals and watch different camera shots and angles to make sure you're always getting the right, even the outfield placement, where more balls go in the outfield wall and so on and so on. So a few years back, the dugout became a pretty popular spot for us.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the rodeo industry, and I've talked to some of the guys we sponsor, it's the same way. Like, you wouldn't think it's, and I don't think it's to that extent, but maybe it is. I have to start looking at camera angles for bull riding and all that. But, what guys are allowed to wear in the arena, oftentimes depends on the main sponsor of that event.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of that out of, off the field, but we're supposed to have certain parameters even in the locker room for interviews and things, but unfortunately the athletes don't always abide by that, and the leagues don't always police it quite the way we would like it, but yeah, it's just a whole nother world watching a game, and you've started to text me at night watching different games and seeing where our logos are placed. So
yeah, literally, I mean, like if I'm in the airport, watching a game or on the actual airplane, I'm like all of a sudden there's New Era all over me.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I try to tell people when I'm out and about and I hear them talking about sports radio and sports talk this, and if they would just sit back and think how the decision was affected by money, they would have a better idea of the sport, because most decisions are made money first, and then
sports second.
team second. Yeah.
Well, mixed martial arts. I was going to say UFC, but mixed martial arts in general is the same way. I mean, like a layman can just watch that match and that fight and go, oh, that was cool. And then, we're talking about, I sponsored a guy for a T-shirt, and he was on strike. He was on a strike force, which is gone now because the UFC bought him. And so I set up the deal with the manager, and he was going to wear the shirt into the ring. We were going to be on his banner as he walked out, and then he was going to wear it at the decision. And He lost, and he was pissed off that he lost the way he lost, so he didn't want the shirt put on him. And so I'm watching the fight going, man, if he doesn't put the shirt on, what do we do?
Right.
Do we get part of our money back because we didn't get the exposure?
And of course they wanted the money up front, right?
That's right.
Of course.
Yeah, so we've already paid him the money, and you can see the manager. I'm watching the fight on TV because it was up in San Jose, and I'm like, he's not putting a shirt on. And you could see the manager giving him the shirt, and you seem to brush him off, like, get that piece of shit away from me right now. He was so mad about the fight, and you get it. You're in the moment, but, it's kind of like the NASCAR guys. They're such, and girls, they're so, every time they talk, hey, so what do you think of the weather out there today? Well, first I'd like to thank Lucas Motor Oil sponsor for sponsoring the clouds that came in today. And, it's just like, wow.
Yeah, we've gotten into NASCAR as well. And, we're definitely glad that they're always putting on those sponsors, caps and things, because all that has got our logo on the side as well. We're always wanting them to turn to the right or turn to the left, to make sure we get the exposure during the interview.
Get the angle, the correct angle.
Mm-hmm.
How much traveling do you do for your job?
Well, I've never actually tracked it, but I would say it's somewhere between 120 and 140 days a year.
Yeah, so we're about the same. Yeah, I just talked to a guy, Big Sandy is a singer, and I just dropped published the. 275 days.
Oh. Yeah, good for him.
And I'm like, wow, dude. He's like, well, he got inducted into the Rockabilly Hall of Fame, and he's going over to Europe, and I'm like, dude, 275 days.
Yeah.
I feel like I go, you win.
Yeah,
it's the most miles of anybody I've talked to so far. Most time away from home.
Hopefully he's got a private jet and things like that.
Not even close.
No.
Rockabilly music does not have that kind of following. Unless you're the Stray Cats, they're about the only big name. Brian Setzer.
Oh yeah. So he's a Southwest guy like me or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Southwest guy. I don't care. I mean, as long as I get my miles, and I'm pretty anal retentive about checking in 24 hours before, or I'll use my want to fly thing miles. I'm good with that.
Yeah, me too. I have no problem with Southwest. And once you get status, it gets you. They do the check-in for you, and usually you're one of the first 30 or 40 on the plane. So you're it's pretty easy. You don't have to worry about the middle seat thing or any of that. So.
As long as I don't get a middle seat, I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't care. I prefer windows for myself, so I can look out the window and not think about the couple hours I'm spending. But
I'm a window guy too, because usually when my head starts bobbing, at least the window holds it up.
Exactly. Exactly. If I'm that tired where I'm going to actually sleep on a plane, which is rare, I got the window to hold my head up. I don't have to worry about hitting my neighbor.
I'm like when I'm in the aisle and get the drive-by elbow or something, or backpack in the side of the head. I like to be out of the way.
Well, and for me, like a couple of times I've done the aisle, I tend to lean. So if I lean towards the aisle, and all of a sudden the cart lady's coming by, it's like, God, boom, boom.
Yeah, you always get something. So
I'm like,
anyway,
oh, excuse me. Well, that's all the joys of traveling.
Yeah, exactly. Traveling's fun. Everybody thinks it's. It has its ups. It has its perks, but everybody here thinks, oh, you're all suntan. You must have been somewhere warm and blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. But I missed my daughter's, I missed my granddaughter's softball game, or did something that they were able to stay home and,
Yeah.
take care of. And so
that's always the balance, But I remember when my kids were in school and all that, I still had to be on the road.
Right.
I mean, for the last, it seems like about every 3 or 4 years, I'm at the rodeo in Vegas during my daughter's birthday.
Oh yeah, that goes over well, huh?
Yeah, not she's 25 now, so it doesn't get her as much.
Right.
But she was 15, 16, and I was trying not to miss sweet 16 birthdays.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, my big one is I miss the Halloween every year for the World Series.
Yeah.
And then I miss my daughter's birthday for spring training, and I usually am at the Super Bowl for my birthday. So whether that's good or bad, I'm not sure. But yeah, so you try to make it up some other way.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think what's your take on technology bettering traveling?
Well, it's definitely helped. But since I'm an older guy, technology and I don't always get along so well. But thank God for 1-800 numbers, so that somebody at the other end that can help me. But it's nice to be able to go on. And my biggest travel issues are around the World Series, so I'm not able to book my travel till the very last second, and then I've got to try to beat all the fans to try to get those same hotels and those same flights to get from, city A to city B. So at least now I'm able to do that all on my phone with a couple, button clicks pretty quick. I usually have that all mapped out a couple weeks in advance.
Yeah.
And as soon as I feel comfortable with pushing the button, then, that's better than waiting on hold for some travel agent somewhere. So.
Yeah, for me, I left my phone behind one time when I had a trip to Denver for work, and you don't realize how much you use it until you don't have it on a trip.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
nowadays I rarely take my laptop anymore. I try to do it all on my phone. So the day I lose my phone, I'll be, I won't be a happy guy.
Yeah, I mean, it was as simple as calling the hotel to get the shuttle to come pick me up.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then my boss telling me, texting everybody what time to meet in the morning, because that's how they communicate now.
Yeah, instead of your phone ringing at 11:30 at night, meet me in the lobby.
Yeah.
Yep, that works.
It was bizarre. It was like, okay, well, I've got to find a payphone now at the Denver International Airport. and call information to get the phone number for the hotel.
Yeah, that's definitely helped in all those ways for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not the size of a brick anymore, so it's even better.
Well, they're actually getting bigger now, which I think is funny. They were getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and now they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, that's for guys like me that need reading glasses and everything else just to see the screen.
You can go ahead and say that's for guys like us.
Yeah.
I have to bring my readers with me now. There's no, it's okay, I'll leave them at home. Like, no, I need them.
I'll tell you what, one of the best presents I've gotten in the last few years, a friend of mine gave me this little package, and it's a portable reader that actually has a case that I was able to adhere to the back of my phone. So they're like the old-fashioned specs that, like you'd see George Washington or whatever, and they literally fold up just a little and slide into this little compartment. And whether I have my readers or not with me, I always have that second pair on my phone, and it's been as good an item as I've gotten in a long time for traveling.
I'm gonna have to look into that. I hate to say that, but I have like 3 pairs. Because I have one in my car, I have one in my drawer, and then I have the one I'm using. Mm-hmm. That way, if I take it off somewhere or break them, which I do, that's the crappy part about it.
Yeah, I hear you. You're hiding them all over the place.
Well, like I said, I break them, so it's like I put them in my pocket when I'm going to go out and about, and all of a sudden they're like in my pocket, and they bend, break, whatever.
Yeah, that's what's pretty cool about these little spec things. But they're great when you forget. When you're trying to read a menu or fill out your your receipt and get your expense report straightened out.
Yeah.
You have something at your fingertips. So
you're gonna make me do it, huh? I'm not gonna have a choice.
Yeah. You won't hate it.
I'll only hate it when my daughters go, "Hey, what's up, old man?"
Yeah. Well, it's either that or having the letters on your phone about a quarter inch high. So. Yeah,
and then asking my wife, "Hey, what kind of tip should I leave on this one?" As I show her the receipt.
Yep. Oh, that's so funny.
Funny because it hurts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like it.
What I got a new question for my guest, Dave.
Okay.
What do you spend your time listening to, or filling your time when you're traveling?
Well, I'm a country music guy or old rock guy. So if I'm anywhere that I have a chance to listen to music, I'm always listening to country music. But again, part of that goes to my job. So I take care of 7 or 8 country artists. So if I'm somewhere where I can watch videos, I'm watching to see if they're wearing our stuff in the video and things like that. But again, I'm an older guy, so I'll just put on a pair of headphones and listen to some music. But you know what? I usually don't have a lot of time when I travel for music. So my phone's usually telling me to turn right or turn left or you missed this turn. So I don't listen to as much music as I used to.
Like you're going to be driving over to Cleveland for the All-Star game.
Yep.
How many hours of a drive is that? 6?
That's 3 hours for me.
Oh, it's only 3?
Yep.
Heck, that's just getting to the freeway for me sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We we don't have that problem here, thank God.
Wait, so on that 3-hour drive, do you listen to podcasts? Do you listen to comedy? Do you listen to your iPhone? Do you listen to straight, regular radio?
No, I listen to regular radio. Unless there's a ball game on, then I'll listen to the baseball game. But other than that, you'll know I'm coming because I usually crank it up pretty loud and just try to forget about everything when I'm when I'm driving like that. So.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, obviously, I do a few more hours behind the wheel than you.
Yeah. Probably 10 times as much as I do a week.
Yeah,
maybe more.
And I've told you, it's like when people say, "Hey, how far is Sunset Boulevard from me?" I'm like, "What time do you want to get there?"
Yeah.
And what day?
Sunday morning. Good news for me is I'm leaving work today, and I'll be home in 15 minutes. Whether I leave at peak time or downtime, it's going to be the same.
Yeah, that was one of the interesting. I went to Indiana one time for a work trip, and I asked the guy at the not the bellman, but the registration guy at the hotel. And I said, "Hey, I'm going up to XYZ in the morning. How long is it going to take me?" "Oh, that's middle of the morning. That's rush hour." And I go, "Okay." He goes, "You give yourself like 17, 18 minutes." I'm like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah. Well, I had just the opposite when I was at the World Series last year, and I was staying downtown L.A.
Yeah.
And it's only 10, 12 miles to the airport, but they were like, "Oh yeah, you better expect 2.5 hours." I'm like, I just couldn't comprehend that. I don't know. I walk to Dodger Stadium every day instead of waiting in those lines, and it was like a 2-mile walk, but I'm like, I would much rather do that than sit in an Uber for an hour and a half.
See, that's what I want to do at the rodeo. I mean, because we stay at the MGM every year, and it's just literally right down Tropicana to the Thomas & Mack Center. And I'm looking at going, that's an hour drive when you get out of the rodeo.
Right.
It's almost an hour just to get to. I'm like, I just want to get on like a bird or one of the little electric scooters.
Yeah, I haven't. Speaking of old, I haven't attempted those yet. But boy, those look pretty convenient, and they're everywhere now.
They're fun. I took one. I got one in Long Beach. My wife went roller skating, and I got on with that. Dude, they go like 12 to 14 miles an hour.
Yeah, they look. They
on
look
two
pretty
little
quick.
wheels. So I was like, and it lasted an hour and a half, 2 hours. Batteries. When I got done, I just set it down and walked back to my car. It was like,
yeah. And they're in every city now, just laying. They're everywhere.
Oh, they're banning them. They are banned in most of the beach cities around here now.
Oh yeah,
right along the Strand, like Venice, because people were getting hit, and who's responsible?
Right. I saw one pretty good wipeout. I think it was Fort Lauderdale last year, but I would imagine that had something to do with alcohol that probably was consumed during the day. It was spring break, so
spring break,
yeah.
That's the same problem they're having here, because you get it makes sense. If I get drunk at the bar at Hermosa Pier and I want to ride home, let me just get on one of these things so I'm not DUIing it, but then you're still DUIing on something that goes 12 to 14 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so do you sue Bird? Do you sue, who do you sue? I guess is kind of what it's breaking down to.
Yeah. And God knows that's the first thing we worry about, where, which law firm we're calling and who we're going to sue with. So
It is in California, it seems like.
Yeah.
What do you think what do you think the biggest change has been? How long have you been doing this? 25, 30 years?
Almost 30, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that overnight success story. Just going to have to wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the biggest difference in traveling for you? From, if you can remember back then, like 1989.
That's a good question. The hotels obviously have gotten better. I guess the biggest thing is my expense report's gotten better, so I can stay and travel a little bit. We're a family-owned and operated company, so we're about 14 times bigger than when I started. So yeah. But airports I think are a little better, and
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think that, and you just made me think of this, do you think airports hotels are getting better? Because back in I was traveling in the late 80s too for work, and you would look up or call a travel agent and say, where do I stay? And they'd say, oh, the Best Western in Santa Maria or San Francisco, wherever, and you'd go there and you'd stay there and it was a shithole. Yeah. But then you were done. But now with the advent of your phone and reviews, it's almost like if it's a dive, people are gonna say it's a dive, and now you can look it up before you go there.
Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of that, but there's more choices. So, I'm a Hilton guy, so there's plenty of Hilton hotels now. You don't really have to hunt for a hotel anymore. Yeah. I'm lucky that I basically go to just major cities. My bigger concern now in my travel is I try to stay within walking distance of the ballpark or the stadium if I can. So it makes it sometimes maybe a little longer trip from the airport, but once I'm there, I'm pretty much able to move around, walk anywhere I need to go. So,
do you take advantage of the Hilton Honors and all that stuff?
Oh yeah. Well, we talked about the
Southwest.
And we talked about, being able to make things up to your family. So my family's a big Disney family. So they just took all my points again and all my miles and all my extra money that I've accumulated for different things and just booked their latest trip to Disney. So my family's going to Disney in August, and I call it Father's Day. They're all leaving, so I'll be home by myself. So for 4 days, it'll be Father's Day at my house, but it's all good. They enjoy their trip to Disney, and I enjoy my 4 quiet days at home.
That's the ironic part. I always tell people, it's like, and I have to remind myself, being on my second wife, I have to remind myself that when I come home, if I'm on the road for a week or 2 weeks, like the rodeo, I don't want it. When I come home, the last thing I want to do is sit in a car and drive somewhere.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, that's my biggest issue when I get home. I'm pretty much a homebody, and that doesn't go over well sometimes at home, and I should do a better job of that. But I've seen, there's times in spring, around spring training and Super Bowl week and all that you're gone 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and to come home and the first question you get is where do you want to go out to dinner? I'm like, I don't care if you make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'd rather just sit here than go somewhere. That's something that's one of the tougher parts of traveling.
Yeah, because my wife's like, "Hey, you're home. Let's go, to the comedy store. Let's go here." And I'm like, "Holy shit! All I want to do is just concubine myself a little bit."
Yeah, that's really tough for me as well.
Yeah, so she reminds me, forcibly that we have to get out and have fun and do things.
Yeah, it's amazing. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, what should I do? I'm coming to Buffalo. Where is this bar good or is this restaurant good?" And I have 4 or 5 restaurants that I like in Buffalo, and usually if you go out towards Niagara Falls or the casino or whatever out that way and walk around. And other than that, I unfortunately can't tell you some of the things I need to do, which is sort of sad. But I could tell you what to do in Dallas or what to do in San Francisco.
Exactly. Ask me a good place in Salinas or San Jose or Bakersfield or
Yeah, where'd you go to dinner tonight? Oh, just a little place down from the hotel. It was all right.
Exactly. But that's to me that's probably the hardest part about traveling for me.
Yep. Yeah, me too. I would have to agree. But like I said, they're a Disney family. We're a Disney family, so right now twice a year I have to go to Disney for the Pro Bowl, so that brings the family and the grandkid to Florida if you buy a season pass, it's good for 13 months, so that gives them 2 Pro Bowls.
2 trips,
so that's about 17 to 20 days a year they get to go to Disney, and that sort of makes up for some of the other stuff.
I hear you. I mean, you got.
I did have a bad week last week, though. I actually went to San Diego, Anaheim, and I had to go to Vegas to see their new AAA stadium. And then when I got home, they threw me in a car and drove me about 30 minutes away, and we got out at this random house, and we walked in the front door, and they went in the kitchen and brought the puppy that they brought back. So while I was gone, my wife and daughter bought a puppy, so I don't know if I was ready for another dog, but I guess I had no choice.
I've been on the bad end of that one, actually.
Yeah, so I guess that was the trade-off. I go on the road, she gets a puppy.
No comment.
Yeah.
So, literally no comment.
It could be worse, I guess.
Yeah, and it could be better, too. My wife just asked me 2 nights ago, "Hey, there's a rescue." She used to own rats as pets.
Oh.
And I'm like, all right. Before she met me and all that, and somebody's has to give away her pet rat. And I'm like, no. No. I have nothing against rats, but I'm just like, for one, I just don't want another pet. And then she mistakenly told me previous that you can't get just one rat; it needs a friend.
Oh, of course. So don't all rats need friends?
They literally do. I guess they need the companionship, or they die fast.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, because it's not just one rat. It's gonna be 2 rats. She goes, yeah, you're right. And I go, then it's $100 a month of no. Oh. I'm not. No.
And at some point, you're going to get stuck having to watch it. So,
well, even that, you have to take it out a half hour a day to play with them. I'm like,
oh no.
I go, no. No. I go, we got our dog. He's enough.
Yep. Choose your battles, right?
Yeah, and that was a battle I chose.
I'm like, and you were going to lose. Oh, that's funny.
Those are all the battles.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate the time, bud. I know you're
no problem.
You got a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, like I said, today was first day of a lot of planning and a lot of packing for the All-Star game, but so far it's gone pretty smooth, and it's just there's a new procedure for the voting, so I'm not sure how fast we'll get the final names and things like that, but we'll be ready. So,
that's the interesting part. That's what I'd love about talking to people like you, because you watch. Most fans just watch you turn on the All-Star game, or you watch the home run derby, and then you watch All-Star game. And you're like, that was fun. Okay, you don't think about all the planning behind the scenes. How many people, and where are you going to stay in the hotels and the flights, and for you, I mean, all the different hats, and I mean, how many hats are you taking to there?
Somewhere around 5,000. Holy crap. For 2 nights worth of, 3 nights. There's a U.S. versus the World Futures game, which is minor league players, and then we have to dress the softball celebrities that night for their game, and then the next day is workout home run derby. Home run derby is pretty big for us, and then the game on Tuesday night. So we start as far as travel plans almost a year in advance, and we start team obviously a year in advance for designing next year's logos and caps and things like that, which I'm not really involved in. But once that completed, about 6 months out, you're already ordering all the caps and for each event. So it's and then you make sure you got to follow those caps all the way to delivery and packing, and then obviously shipping them out to the venues and things like that. So
yeah. That's just crazy. Did you get down to the CMAs?
No, I did not go to Nashville for the CMAs. We did Nashville for the NFL draft.
Right. Yeah.
And survived that. And then no, I didn't get down there. I hear that's pretty fun, but I did not get to go there. I saw you guys had a booth there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Troy was working hard.
Yeah. That guy works hard, and I can tell you, straight out, honestly, he works super hard. I've had store managers in different states, like South Dakota, North Dakota it was, in Bismarck, and one of the store managers of the account I run is like, hey, that Cowboy Troy guy, do you guys pay him? I go, well, yeah, he's a sponsor. He goes, no, but like he came into the store and was like talking to fans and signing stuff for us, and like, did you guys make him do that? Right?
Yeah.
No.
That's sort of how we met, when he took me over to the booth and he was describing each one of the different jean styles, and then you came over, and that's how that all started. Yeah, he's pretty good at that. He even knows all our styles and all our different. I don't know how he does it, but I guess he has a marketing mind, and he remembers.
He got his MBA. He went back and just got his MBA, I think, about a year and a half ago.
Very nice.
So yeah, he's
good for him.
It took him 2.5 years of traveling on the road.
Now he's selling jeans and whiskey and whatever else he's got going, rap music. So
well, that's the John Rich whiskey.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
all right, bud. Well, I guess I'm going to go back to selling hats.
Yeah, that's what we do. I'm going to be selling some boots and some jeans. So.
All right.
Appreciate the time, and I will talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, bye.